Hey, once again, we're live here at PWP Nation. I'm Jay. That's Steve. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, Jay? How are you, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm hanging out, having fun in the brand new PWP Nation t-shirt that you
That
can get.
shirt.
You can get the logo t-shirt, the official logo t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/PWP. Get it over there. The link is in the description. And if you've been here before, welcome back. And if you haven't been here before, welcome to PWP Nation. We do a variety of shows here on the channel, focused towards a lot of different segments of audiences. One of them is mainly professional wrestling because that's the business I come from. But Steve comes from a completely different background, and we're going to be talking about a variety of topics week after week right here every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Of course, this is my channel, so if I want to change that up a little bit or we make changes to the rotation, we'll do that. But just look for it every single Tuesday night right here live, 6 p.m. on youtube.com/PWP Nation. With that being said, I'd appreciate you clicking that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, brother. We're getting there. I think we gained like 5 or 6 overnight. So that's a good thing, but it's still a long road. But tonight, we're going to be talking about the Grammys. We're going to be talking about music, Steve's history of music. We got a musician, a true bred musician for, what do we say, 23 years?
Yeah, at least.
Damn, dude. Damn.
So, I mean, yeah, well, I'll be happy to take you through the steps there and how I got to where I am today. Never, like I always said, I didn't really make $1. I'm about $1 million short of being a millionaire. But there's, the Grammys yesterday, crazy. I think it gives a lot of insight, not only to today's music, but today's society and where we're at.
Totally. And we saw, we're going to talk about Cardi B and Megan, whatever, Stallions, and what they did. But first, I want to start with this story that I saw on Twitter. And this was a reaction from All Elite Wrestling superstar and legend, Ayatollah of rock and roller, Chris Jericho. Shortly after, or maybe during the Grammys, I believe the Grammys were Sunday night. And I'll quote Chris Jericho here. He goes, "At Recording Academy," I guess that's the Academy Awards that puts on the Grammys, "no tribute to Eddie Van Halen tonight. You and your BS awards can go F your A, and don't ever try to give my band a nomination. I'd rather win a Razzie Award. F off, Grammys. Hashtag Grammys." Chris Jericho got 500 retweets, 412 quote tweets, but most importantly, he got 4,000 likes on this tweet, dude. I want, as a musician that, and I know your music, dude, you hit all the different genres. And that's something that not a lot of artists can effectively do. But to see the Grammys not acknowledge Eddie Van Halen, who I think we can all agree with is an absolute music legend in every single category you can think of. What's your reaction to that in Chris Jericho's tweet here?
Oh man, well, first of all, I'm happy that you pulled up Chris Jericho because I've been really into his band Fozzy lately. My girlfriend introduced me to that band. And not only is it like a comedy show in itself, but it's also pretty good music too. It's pretty hard hitting metal. And even though Jericho can't really sing, he tell you he's not a great singer, but the music itself is great. But the Grammys, man, I didn't really watch much of it. I didn't really have to see what was going on. I saw the clips and I saw a little bit of it as I was passing through. And it's pretty disgusting. It's pretty it's pretty blasphemous, I should say, not to even mention Eddie Van Halen. I mean, I know this has now been at least a few months back since he had passed, but just not to mention him, that's pretty disrespectful, I think, in my opinion. But they did make sure that they made sure they were telling you to get vaccines. They kept on giving the propaganda, and if you have eyes that can see, you could definitely see this stuff. It's right there in front of you, and music should never ever be a place where you have to look at politics and you have to look at what's already going on in the world, and the world's a messed up place. On our last show, Jay, remember I was talking about, the escape and why I have a podcast about sports. It's an escape.
Oh, yeah.
And music's the same way. Nobody wants to go to a concert and hear about politics and Iran, unless maybe it's a Rage Against the Machine concert. Then that's the exception because that's what they talk about. But man, I just think that's disgusting. Not to mention, you had Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and their stripper performance, which is exactly what it was. It was actually more than a stripper performance. It was a pornographic movie in front of our eyes, man. And I'm not surprised. I mean, every single Grammys, and I want to get into this with you, Jay. Every single Grammy show, everything that's on the mainstream is a chance for them to show their rituals to the masses and get them to accept this new world order. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, these people are the puppets. And of course they're going to do stuff like this. You know, look at the one in the middle where they're scissoring right there.
Mhm.
I mean, that one is, look, is it nice for us to see in our own time privately? Yeah.
I'm
Right.
okay with it.
I'm
I'm
okay
okay
with
with
that.
looking at it. Yeah.
But it's not okay to be live and, you know, for our kids to see. And this is what they grow up with. So subliminally, they're learning that this is the way to do it, you know, and
You know
it's
what? I'm gonna
disgusting.
play I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a moment because I ultimately agree with you. And but when we were kids, the same type of things were happening to us, and it's indoctrination, and it happens to every generation since all these plans were put into place by the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and these big bankers and the people who actually set forth the Constitution, set forth the plan for America and the agenda for this country. And in my opinion, it's just right out of the playbook. It's what they always do. They did it. When did they do it? I want to say it was probably the early 2000s, maybe 20 years ago, when they had Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Madonna kiss each other on stage during the
Yes.
MTV Awards. You know,
Right.
you remember that pretty well, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's the same dynamic here.
Look, yeah, you're right. It's been going on. The difference is that it's getting more and more obvious. It used to be pretty subliminal. You had to really look for these things, and then more and more it was put out right in front of your face. If you look at some of the examples of something that's not so obvious, I mean, if you look at maybe, you know, Katy Perry's performance, when she basically showed herself as a witch, being burned at the stake on a stripper pole. Um, and that wasn't the only thing that she showed. She also did some great symbolization over in her Super Bowl performance. So you had a lot of that going on. Katy Perry, you know, another person who's a great puppet for the elites. Because not that like I don't enjoy this music, believe me, I do. I love all music, I really do. And I'm into it. But I just don't think there's a place to kind of like to show this and because it is so subliminal, you don't notice it right away. Many people don't, maybe besides me and you, but it definitely takes its toll and makes kids grow up thinking that this is the way you behave. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not so
dude.
subliminal though. That one.
I mean, this to me was obviously, you know, for ratings, for buzz, to get people talking. You know, I remember this, and it was barely like it was a kiss. That was definitely a kiss, man. I think she
Yeah,
did the same thing to Christina Aguilera like a second later.
yeah.
And the
She's like, "Where's
coolest thing,
mine?"
the cool thing would have been if she took both Britney and Christina Aguilera's heads and put them together. We would
Mhm.
have liked to see that, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's what happened next. But yeah, clear subliminal messaging from all kinds of performances out there. You mentioned Super Bowl performances. We could bring up some of that. Katy Perry Super Bowl. I know exactly what you're talking about. She had fire every look. The fire she's got on. What is this? You know, it just
So
craziness.
I would say that's like the transhuman human movement right there behind her with the robots. That's probably what
Mhm.
that is to me. That you know what you're showing me right now. This is, and I'm sure people at home watching are like, what are they talking about? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the little stuff. I mean, she definitely looks like some kind of demonic vampire there with the flame behind her as well. When you look close there. But she came in on the huge. I don't know what it was. It was a lion, I believe.
Yeah,
For
here it
Roar.
is.
Yeah,
Here
that
it is.
golden lion, and to me, that looks like some kind of like, you know, false idol that be worshipped back in Babylon. So I really looked into this and I was like, oh, so what does this mean? And it was the horror of Babylon was what she was kind of like showing there as she was making her huge
Oh.
entrance. But you look at the video for this song. I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember the name of the song, but for the song that I'm thinking of in the video, it's just ancient Egypt the whole time is a theme, just flashing Illuminati signs everywhere you look. So the music is definitely their chance to show all this stuff.
Yeah, and this is a clear indication. I've been down these rabbit holes before on my own, bro. So I'm somewhat familiar with what you're talking about here.
Look at that.
And like all right. So first things first, I want to start off with I went deep down a Katy Perry Illuminati rabbit hole probably a couple summers ago. Probably I was, I don't know, maybe on something, who knows. So I was looking down these rabbit holes and I'm noticing that she was like a goody two shoes type of folk singer. She didn't have any of this sexuality behind her. I remember her first hit song was I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It.
Yeah.
So it's that same playbook as we saw the other night with the WAP, the subliminal messaging there with Cardi B and Megan Stallion and what they and I'll never talk trash about Megan Stallion, bro. She sent me $10. She did like a giveaway on Twitter where she was giving out Bitcoin to people who put their Cash App handle in the thread. And she gave me $10 in Bitcoin. And that specific $10 is now worth like $35.
Yeah, there's nothing, don't get me wrong, man. I don't think there's any wrongdoing from the artists themselves. They're just literally pushing the message that's being told by the people above them. So, their handlers are telling them to do this stuff. Then they pose it as art, but we all know what it really is. I don't really subscribe to the whole thing on the left there, like the shape shifting. I don't think they're really shape shifting out there, but they're definitely giving us plenty of material. I mean, that's obvious. If you do any research whatsoever into the occult, you could see all this stuff here. Yeah, but you bring up her first big single, which was I Kissed a Girl. And there's this picture there. I mean, that's obviously showing everyone out there. There's I don't think there's anything wrong with homosexuality, but when you throw it in people's faces constantly, I think there's an agenda at play here, and it's making it the cool thing to do. It's part of that transhuman agenda where we're going to make everybody like kind of like asexual here, where there is going to be no gender. I think that's what they're doing right now, and you can have your own opinions of it, and anyone out there, but it's there's a male and there's a female, and science, which we all talk about science all the time, right, backs that up. So I mean, look, they're trying to obviously break down the idea of a man and a wife and all of that. So you're seeing it more here with Megan and Cardi. They're doing their thing, and I mean, look, that looks like fun. I mean, like if I was them, I would probably enjoy that too. But like, I mean, I just don't think that kids should be able to see that early.
Yeah, and this is music that's mainstream music, and that's the word I want everybody to pay attention to. And I use that word all the time, and I probably overuse it, but that word is important because that represents what the people behind the scenes are pushing out there for the most people to see, hear, and consume as they possibly can. That's the agenda at hand. They want as many people to listen to the WAP song, to watch that Grammy performance as possible. But here's the funny thing, Steve. The funny thing is the Grammys got their lowest ratings of all time. Of all time.
And that's what's funny about that, Jay. Not only did that stat happen, but they were in a situation where everybody's home, right? So everyone's got to be watching. You'd figure this is the perfect time to get ratings. Everyone's home watching it, and there's not that many people there. There was only like maybe just a few elitists that were actually there. And me sitting and watching a little bit of it and passing through, right? Because I didn't watch the whole thing, not even close. But you could just see how obvious it is. And then you have what's the host name of the Grammys? Who the guy with the
Trevor Noah,
right? Noah, who I believe is faking his accent because that's the weirdest. It's supposed to be British, I guess.
Yes,
I mean, I don't see that. But he's sitting there pushing that agenda. And I don't care. I'm not saying that anti-vax. I don't hate you if you get a vaccine. I just don't want people to keep on telling me get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, trust it. And oh yeah, I'm gonna blindly trust something, right? Look, if I don't want to get it, if my next door neighbor doesn't want to get the vaccine, power to them. Power to them. If you do want to get it, power to you. But stop pushing it. All right. And this guy, that's what I caught was him saying that, oh, nothing brings us together like music. Oh, and a vaccine too. Yeah. Nice slip in, brother.
Oh my God, dude. I remember. So of course, and you probably did the same thing as soon as we got into this, I don't want to use the word, but this global crisis about a year ago, as soon as it started to happen, I think I was on top of it as soon as I heard the news story of there being a sickness out in China. I was on top of this news story, bro. I was looking at any kind of rabbit hole I could to figure out what was going on before they told the mainstream anything. And I remember going down these rabbit holes and seeing videos of past award shows where they would actually inoculate people with the flu vaccine at the award show. And I'm talking, they got doctors there walking around the aisles with trays in their hands. And I don't know what award show it was. I can't remember. It was celebrities though. There were celebrities. And these doctors were literally giving vaccines to the celebrities at this award show. And this was many years ago. This was probably, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years ago. Who knows? I can't remember the video, so excuse me for that. But yeah, dude, I swear that happened. I saw it. And that scared the crap out of me then. And then you see what's happening now with the freaking push. And another thing, just a real quick, I know I'm ranting a little bit and I'll go back to you in a sec, but this whole vaccine thing, Marvin Hagler, the famous boxer, passed away the other day. Thomas Hitman Hearns, his greatest opponent, went on Instagram a couple hours before Marvin Hagler died and said that Marvin Hagler was in the ICU from side effects of the vaccine. And then he died. So, and then, of course, Marvin Hagler's wife come out and says, oh, it had nothing to do with the vaccine, but who knows, bro?
Yeah, right. Just like when the nurse had passed out on the floor like 10 minutes afterwards, and they're like, of course, it has nothing to do with it. Of course, like absolutely not. Yep. No, nothing to do with it. Coincidence, right? Yeah. So look, last time, Jay, and thank you for having me back on. I must have done a great job if you had me back on, 2 weeks straight. But
you're gonna be on this show every Tuesday night as long as you want to be on the show every Tuesday night, bro.
Awesome.
I gotta fill 5 nights. Right. That's the plan. That's the goal. 5 nights. So if you want to be here every Tuesday, you're here every Tuesday, brother.
I'm there. So let's book it. So look, we talked about this, about how music is supposed to be the escape and everything, and so is sports, and I'm into both of them. Me, as a musician, even if I have all this fame, let's just act like I'm in a world where I have fame. I'm out there and I start pushing an agenda of any kind. I think that's wrong. And here's why it's a big problem. Let's say you push a conservative agenda, and there's people out there that are mostly progressives or libertarian, not libertarian, no, liberals. That's what I meant. Lefties. There's a whole bunch of lefties out there. Now you just lost, most of your crowd. So why would you ever just like go all in on something and push your agenda, and especially political, when you don't know really what your audience is? And that's a big mistake. I mean, look, they'll probably say to me, well, screw you, Steve. I mean, we're making millions of dollars and you're not. But at the same time, they'd probably be doing a lot better if they just were like more general and just stuck to what they do best.
No, you're absolutely correct. And here's that tweet or the Instagram post, and it has since been deleted. And I just wanted to prove that this happened. So Thomas Hitman Hearns, a real true warrior, pray for the king and his family. He's in ICU fighting the after effects of the vaccine. He'll be just fine, but we could use the positive energy and prayer for his full recovery. What I want to know is, like, okay, very well, his wife could be telling the truth that he didn't die from the vaccine. All right. So, and I commented on today, but I want to know, how did Hearns get this information? Like, who told Hitman Hearns that Marvin Hagler was in the ICU battling side effects of the vaccine? So I want to know the answer to that question. And I feel like I should be able, as a part of the press, ask that question. But of course, nobody's going to answer these for me. And why we're fact checkers, if you Googled this today, they debunked this so fast before you could even, this is crazy. This was probably up yesterday, but they didn't even post the possibility that something could have went awry with the vaccine. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the vaccine. If you want to take the vaccine, cool, take the vaccine. But I'm saying, like, why can't they even talk about any kind of possible scenarios here,
Right. Well, open and shut case, man. It's what they always do whenever there's some kind of conspiracy. That's how you know there's conspiracy behind something, by the way. Whenever it's just like, no other further research needs to be done, and that's what they say, like, then boom, you got something there. They do that right away. They did that with JFK, going back to JFK, and didn't even investigate it. It was like, we got our man right away,
Yeah.
So
totally.
it's always that way with these guys. So that's what we're up against, and those are the people who are at the top. And these people that we always talk about, you can call them Illuminati, and that seems to be a very popular word, but it also seems to make you seem like you're crazy once you open your mouth and say Illuminati. Yes. So the elitist. I don't think it's that crazy to think about that the people with the most money have the most power. Like, if you own the central banks, well, guess what? You're going to own everything around that because they need funding from the central bank. So if there's a war, guess who's behind that? If there's a media push, like, let's bash the hell out of somebody, to the point where everyone just hates them. That's coming from the media. Guess what? That's coming from up top too. So it's all the same people. It's
Yeah,
basically what I'm
yeah,
trying to say.
and it started from the beginning, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, all those secret societies and everything. But like, I wanted to pivot back to music for just a hot second here
Mhm.
because I want to ask you the question. And you've been in the music game for many years, and you're still in. You never actually leave. You're an artist. You don't leave the music game. So like, have you ever been asked to join the Illuminati?
Hell no. I'm not. And here's why, because I'm not that popular. I think I think the I think the height of my popularity probably came in high school when I had that hit song Mac and Cheese. So
Yes,
for all my
classic,
Towns or South people, again, if you're listening, Mac
classic.
and Cheese. I won't say the other name of the title. There's two. That's it's Mac and Cheese, man. That could have
It
been on a
is.
damn commercial. But if my popularity, let's say in another world, another reality, if I would have gotten famous, yes, the Illuminati would have definitely had approached me. And I don't think it's so much of as an approach. I think it's more of I would envision this. I don't know. I never been in the Illuminati, but I would imagine that once you start getting so popular, you start getting invited to these parties, and next thing you know, you're hanging out, you're rubbing elbows with people that are a part of this cabal and whatever
Mhm.
you want to call it. But they're part of this, and they get brought into it, and they have to take an oath that they keep everything a secret. And this is real stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that every single musician is in the Illuminati. You know what I mean? I don't think Chris Jericho is in the Illuminati, and here's why: he's not mainstream. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He may be mainstream in the wrestling world. Everyone knows who he is, but his
It's
music,
a
Fozzy,
niche
is
it's a
not.
niche audience. No, it's not, it's not. He's got a hit. I mean, that song Judas kind of blew up a little bit, but again, it's kind of inside this bubble. It's not like, it doesn't go outside of that mainstream
Well,
the mainstream audience, like you said.
The Illuminati would have loved that song. Judas is like their hero, like
Yeah, you would think.
he's the OG of it all. So, anyway, yeah. So no, definitely not. Definitely would never ever approached by that. If I was, then I know I'm doing something good.
Dude, the best thing about the Grammys, though, I think was Bill Burr and the reaction to Bill Burr and what he said at the Grammys. He was like, he just poked fun because he was presenting the award for like best tropical Latino artist or something. And
Mhm.
they went nuts because he was like, the feminists are probably going to say like, oh, here it is. And I can't play the audio, unfortunately, I don't think. But he says something like, "Oh, the feminists are probably like, what's this white cis male doing up here?" Blah blah blah. And people were canceling him, going crazy yesterday about it. And I found it really funny. There was one specific tweet that went viral that I'm going to look for. But are you familiar with what happened here? Did you hear about this story?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't know it was Bill Burr.
Yep.
But I did hear about something about Latin and somebody white who was presenting the award, and I never knew that was a problem, but apparently that's a problem. I don't know why. I think that just perpetuates any kind of racism. That, not to say that there wouldn't be if you didn't talk about it, but when you're talking about it, it perpetuates it, right? So let's not like do that, man. Like, why do people, and again, it makes you question these things. Why is this always being shoved in our faces, man? Who cares? You think people who are Hispanic, care that a white person announced this award? Hell
No,
no.
they don't care, dude. They don't care. And the funny thing about this is I'm looking for a tweet right now, and it was this like activist or something responded, and Bill Burr's wife is actually black,
Mhm.
and she freaking lit him up like you would not believe. And unfortunately, I can't find the tweet. Maybe he deleted it. It's very possible the guy deleted it and it no longer exists, and they wiped out all the responses because it went ballistic viral. And man, I wish I had it. But either way, it's crazy. It's again indicative of, like you said, the whole entire objective out there and what they're trying to do, and that is push what they want to push. And it's
Mhm.
just, to me, it's silly, and I don't even know what the long term effects of this are going to be. Is it going to continue to change society? Are we going to come to a boiling point where like one ideology and the other ideology eventually clash, and it's not just over Twitter, and it's not just every once in a while in the streets of Portland or in any other Democratic run city? Is it going to blow up into something bigger?
Look, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, but I think that eventually the bubble will burst, like they say in
Mm-hmm.
the real estate market, right? The bubble will burst eventually. It's going to start going the other way. It has to. I mean, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be so ridiculous that now you're even seeing people who are from the left side now starting to realize and complain about it, like because they're losing all their their stars, their childhood stars from like, and these Disney people and stuff like that are now starting to get canceled. And now it's starting to come hitting home, right? Now it's starting to hit home. So I think now that you're seeing this, I think it's getting so extreme. So that's the key here. It's so extreme liberal that it's becoming a huge problem. And it has been, but it's getting worse and worse, worse. I think it will stop eventually. I think it will kind of go the other way. And I just wish it would, because you know me, man, I like to laugh and have fun. And
Yeah,
I write songs that are, I write serious songs, but when I write music, I'm just having fun. And a lot of that stuff I do is like joke songs. Like I have a song about a crack dealer, and I'm not a crack dealer, but I take on that personification in my song. And mac and cheese. So I want to talk about mac and cheese real quick, because
Okay.
there's a song that I hope never gets out now, because I might get canceled. But I just think that what I learned from that is that the more of a wow factor and the more controversial something is, I think that the more popular it's going to be, and people bank on that. The old term shock jocks. You heard of it? He's a shock jock. But when you do that, it gets people interested. Now in this world, we're so beaten down with what the normal is. Everyone's doing this kind of stuff now, and it has media out there and content. So you got to be different. You got to stand out there. I never do things just to do them, just to get attention. But I did find that any song that was a little bit controversial or a little like out there, funny, people love. Plus, it's a hell of a good song.
Let me ask you, man, because I love that song too, and that's actually how we reconnected. I reached out to you. I was thinking about that song, and I would sing it. So here's my musical talent, Steve. Here's my musical talent. I will come up with random songs on my own. I will take like an existing song, create my own lyrics, and try to make my wife laugh. That's what I do. And I'm horrible. I'm terrible. I'm awful, but I have fun doing it. And I, on occasion, would sing that song, especially when I was consuming that food, mac and cheese, because it brings back memories. And I hadn't actually heard it in many, many years, probably, I don't know, 15 years or something. And I reached out to you and asked you to send me that song, and you did. And we connected and started doing these podcasts. And that's awesome how that song eventually brought us together, because it's such a great song. And I was thinking that, you might, and I'm going to say this in public because I think this is a good idea. You might be smart to create like some kind of alias, just some kind of like fake, and like put that song on TikTok and just let the kids, and you don't even have to use the part if you don't want to. You can change it to a different word. But the song is badass. The song is really good. And who knows, dude? It takes one, like Gary Vee always says, and I've been listening to him about NFTs lately, and Gary Vee always says that all it takes is one piece of content. All it takes is one piece of content, like that dude who got big on TikTok and he's drinking the cranberry juice on the skateboard.
Yeah,
it took one piece of content. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't create the song, Fleetwood Mac did, and all he's doing is riding around in a longboard, and you never know what's going to really pop off. And we always try that with BaseBald. We always put out content that we think, all right, well, let's do something snappy, something quick, because this is what the kids gravitate towards, and they like quick things. They like a picture, like we prove with the polls. Whenever you put a poll out there, people respond. It's got to be like 8 seconds, I feel like. So I like that idea of you saying that I should have an alias. So look,
why not, dude?
That song is, and I'll say it because I think I have a feeling now that's probably going to get out, but that song is literally 100% fun, joking kind of song, and it has no other intention besides that. Let me tell you that. And it's catchy. It's a very simple beat, and it gives me a chance to kind of dive into a little bit of that. Simpler is better, man. Keep it simple and stupid, as they say, because I'm not saying I'm not the best musician out there. You know what I mean? There's tons of people who are better. I mean, I do a lot of different things with music. I play drums, I keyboard, sing, all those different things, and I'm multi-talented, but I'm not the most talented person. I mean, I don't write these symphonies, but I can tell you, these 4 chords, 3 chord kind of songs, there's a reason why they're popular, because people gravitate towards that stuff. It's easy, it sticks in their head. They don't want something complicated, and mac and cheese is definitely that. It's simple as it gets.
Yeah. It's
Even the
classic. It's a great song, dude. I've listened to it since you sent it to me. I've listened to it 100 times since you sent it to me, bro. No joke.
Right. I hope my hope is that people start knocking down your digital door on and they're just like, hey man, get me that song. I got to know what this is. And
Here's something. Here's another idea you could do, Steve. Here's another idea. You could tease this song. Because I'm not going to put it out there unless you told me to. So you could tease this song. You could tease it, and then you can put it behind a paywall and charge a ridiculous amount of money for it.
I like that. I like that
Right?
idea.
Right?
That's
Like you can listen to this song, but you got to pay me $5,000, but not even in actual dollars, in cryptocurrency. So I don't have to tell the government. So pay me that money, and you can hear Mac and Cheese, the song that everybody wants to hear, but nobody can.
I see what you mean, and like all joking aside, that's the key too. You want to tease something and build the anticipation of it. And that was my first, I want to say, hit. It was a local hit. I don't know how far it stretched out, but it was a local hit. People are probably
did you get any shit for that? Did anybody give you a hard time for that? Did
No.
anybody come up to you and be like, "Yo, dude"?
Never. I've gotten only good shit from that. I mean,
That's right.
There's people that still love that song, and like there's people that like my music. They're like, show me some of your music, and I play it from. It's pretty good, man. You're good. I like it. Good stuff. Then I play that song, and like, how come you never released this, bro? And he's like, get it out there, So that was the first one, and then it, that was on a 4-track, and then after that, got into more mixing. Went to school at Lakehurst to do audio recording. So I learned a lot from all that stuff, and it really gave me a good outlet. I want to give a shout out to my man Tim Downing out there. I don't know if you remember Tim Downing. He's who kind of got this started with me. Very, very tall, lanky dude, probably the opposite of me. Ran into him in 8th grade. Anyway, we started doing stuff on a 4-track. We loved the Beastie Boys, and we wanted to be the Beastie Boys, and that's how kind of like my rap style came out. So I started with rap. Then I got a little bit into the singing more, and still doing it today, man. Now,
you can sing. You can sing,
thank
bro.
you.
You definitely can sing, man. Don't
It's
even
good.
sell yourself short.
It's good to hear that because I some people don't agree with you, Jay.
Well, dude, you can and dude, you used to sing. If maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but you used to sing and drum at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, right? You would be drumming and fucking singing. That's hard, bro. That cannot be easy.
It's easy for me. It comes natural, man.
Well, there you go. There you go.
But it's actually easier to do that than just to either sing by itself, because when you're singing by yourself or with a band and you're doing it in front of people, it's definitely awkward when you're there with the drum set and you're playing and you're in the groove. People have to understand, as a drummer, you'll agree with this, drummers out there, when you're in the groove, you're in this like pocket, what I mean, the zone. If you ever saw the movie Soul, you're like in the zone. So you get lost in it, and then everything kind of comes like secondhand, so it makes it easier. Definitely not the best singer. I mean, I wish I had a better voice, but I could definitely sing. I sing on key, and that's what matters, right?
And
so
you rap.
Yeah, rap and sing. And the thing is just the hooks, man. Getting people in with the hooks. Functified was another great song from Head Stash.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Functified made it was good. And when I say like hit, I don't mean without these tens of thousands of people going out and seeing my shows, but hit locally and just from my own little world and my perception. These are things that kind of hit.
Yeah. Get booked locally. Hell yeah, dude. And who's your favorite drummer of all time? Like, who's your inspiration for drumming?
I like to joke around and say myself, but I'm not that cocky. There's so many to choose. It's really hard. Who do I think is the best is probably different from who I think is my favorite. Like there's too many of them. But to really think about it, I would probably say like Chad Smith. Now Chad Smith's up there.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, right?
Yeah, he looks like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, he does.
And then I can't think of the guy's name from 311. Maybe you can pull him up. He's a very underrated drummer. He is unbelievable. I thought his name was Chad Smith for a second, but it's Chad something.
Yeah. That band was great too, 311, bro. I've seen them in concert a few times. They're awesome.
Yeah, that dude. Oh, Chad Sexton. There you go.
Yep, there it is.
So yeah, look, he's Sexton on the drums, man. That guy is just killing it. And he does all different styles, which I like. He has a Latin feel. Hey, look, here's a white guy playing Latin. He's probably gonna get canceled. But he does all different styles, and so that's someone I would probably put up there. Him and Chad Smith, really good drummers. He's probably the better drummer, honestly. For being honest, he's probably the better one. It's all about it's about presence. It's about being in the groove, and it's about not doing too much as a drummer.
Oh
right?
yeah, there he is, Will Ferrell. Yeah,
There's
dude.
Will Ferrell.
That's
Yeah,
him.
so who would have
You're
known?
right, bro. It seems like drumming to me seems so freaking hard, bro. I've never even attempted it in real life, just on Rock Band, and like it just seems so difficult. I used to hang out with Bill Thurlby, who he's a drummer as
Yeah.
well. I used to be anyway, and I think I hit his drums maybe once or something, and I had no idea what I was doing, so I just quit like right away. And yeah, dude, it just seems like such a how much like when did you start drumming? When was that something you started doing?
So I started drumming around 12 years old. A friend of mine had a really beat up kit, and that's how I started. And then I think I took lessons for like a couple of months. Didn't really do much. Kind of just taught me stuff that I never ended up using, but really just more self taught. Just kind of feeling things there. Never really tried to think too much when I was drumming, but from 12 to now, and you do the math. I'm 36 now, so
Yeah,
it's been a long time. That's where I first started with the music. But I want to tell you a quick story. I don't know how much time we have.
yeah. Please, we got something. We got time.
But the way that it really all started, believe it or not, was actually on a Talk Boy. So I don't know if you remember the Talk Boys, but it was in Home Alone, I think 2.
Oh yeah.
I wanted that, so I got that for Christmas, and I was very excited about it. I made my first CD on that. My first album wasn't a CD. I don't even think I could do CDs at the time. I was really young. I think I was 7 or 8 years old. Put on a cassette, about 6 songs. And this one song was a parody of like "That's Me in the Corner" by REM.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, really bad lyrics for a young kid like myself to be saying. And you don't want to talk about sexuality and like Cardi B ain't got nothing on me as a 7-year-old. Let me tell you that. So when I put that out, that ended up being mistakenly put into someone else's book bag. This is how crazy it gets.
Oh.
The kid goes home. His mom finds his tape. Then I get a call from my friend like, "Yo, man, you're in trouble." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Richard found the tape." He's like, "His mom got the tape. He's going to come over to your house." I'm like, "Shit." So my mom's home now. I feel, Mom, as you're watching, I'm sorry. I feel terrible about this to this day. Comes over, gives my mom the tape. My mom's like, "You're going to listen to this with me," because my mom had heard about how disgusting it was. So we're listening to it. I go in the other room. I'm like, I can't take this. It was so like, it was things that a 7 or 8-year-old should never be saying, let alone know. But I knew this back to our original talk, right? To bring it all home, back to our original talk about when you're a kid and you're very impressionable. I had the Spice Channel when I was little because we had the black box. The black box was a legal box that we had that you can never get ever again because of the way things are now.
Nobody knows what you're talking about, man. Nobody knows what you're talking about. I know. I remember those, dude. I used to get WWF pay-per-views for free with that on my
pay-per-view, all the new movies that were coming out. And unfortunately, I guess, or fortunately, depends on the way you look at it, we had the Spice Channel, and it was actually digit number 9. It was 9. It was the channel because these channels are all messed up. So this wasn't Playboy, folks. This wasn't like, HBO After Hours. This wasn't Skinamax. This was real hardcore shit. So I got a lot of these ideas from there. So I put out the song. Next thing you know, it goes around my whole school. I went to Sacred Heart Catholic School, right? God.
Yeah,
so I go there and all these people know, and it's a big embarrassment. And that was like my really first, my first success, I would say, with music. And I was embarrassed, and I ripped up the tape. I wish I never did, but
it would have been a relic. It would have been a relic.
It's probably sounded terrible, but it was good at the time. And now, you went through cover bands throughout, we had Head Stash, and we had Lifted. Ryan Attia has been my guitar player, for different bands, and we still do music together. And we do for BaseBald, connect baseball with the music. Now, our music, people have asked me about where I get the music. Our intro song, That's What I'm Talking About, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yep. That's Head Stash and, Lifted, I should say. I'm sorry, Ryan. Lifted. That's all we create that ourselves. So anything that you hear from an intro or an outro usually is us, unless it's a very famous song, then you'll know. But we put together our own music, our own content, and that's huge. Now we don't have to pay people. to do music for us.
That is huge. That is huge, bro. And let's wrap this up, man, because I gotta go tend to the business. Gotta eat some dinner. Actually, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too. I wonder why.
Let's wrap this up with BaseBald Show, bro. What's going on with BaseBald Show? What's new, man? We talked about before we went live. You had a very successful poll recently. Your page is blowing up. Baseball season's right around the corner. We got spring training. This is when you're going to explode. And since this is year 1 of BaseBald Show?
This is still in the first year. Yeah, we started this in July.
So this is year 1. So you're seeing like great growth in year 1. Tell us, what do we got to see here, and what do we have to see in the future?
So big news right now. We just reached 3,000 followers. Facebook with their new update does not do likes anymore. They just do followers. As you can see there, 3,000. We had a very successful poll where we talked about the uniforms of the Mets. The Mets have been through different uniforms throughout their history, and people want to bring back the black uniforms. We did one with the Yankees, as you can see there too.
Yeah, smart.
The black uniforms are thinking about coming back. So that's all we did was that, right? And it was crazy to see the amount that it blew up. We did that with sharing to different groups. That one right there is going to show you all the ones we did on just our page reactions, but the reactions were just like exponential, really. And we're inviting people from it, and it helped us get to 3K. That's where we're at right now. So tomorrow we're going live. Jay, if you're not busy, get on there, comment, feedback, all that good stuff. Tomorrow live, 12 p.m. we're going to be airing our show. So awesome. We're going to be talking about different uniforms, getting people, the idea is to get people in. I know you're thinking to yourself, well, who the hell cares about uniforms, right? But people obviously care. So the hot topic right now is the black uniforms. Bring back the Mets used to have black uniforms back in the late 90s, early 2000s, up until like 2011. So we're going to be talking about different ones throughout the years, back from the old, the good, the bad, the ugly, the really horrendous. And we just want people to talk about their favorite uniforms, post some pictures, and we'll be showing you them too. So it'll be fun. But that's where we're at. 3K right now.
Awesome. I got an idea. I think this meme is so simple, and I'm looking at it, but I didn't pull it up on the screen again. But this meme is so simple. I'll pull it up real quick because I have an idea, and you probably already had this idea, but you should just do every single team, bro. This is so simple. Do every single team, and then just hit those specific regions of the country, like, even Canada, like hit them, because they're going to react to something like this. Like they will react to this.
I think we'll get there. I think the reason why we're keeping it home in New York is because that's where all of our fans are. So our fans are like 99%, either Mets or Yankees. So to do that, I don't think it would be a lot of benefit yet, but that's definitely a good idea, Jay.
Yeah, you slowly do it, bro. You do like the Phillies next.
As we get more. Yeah. So if we really blow up, we become like, a huge thing. That's definitely something we could do. That's a great idea.
Booyah, I love it. And you could probably even, dude, here's a good idea too. And we're still live. We'll go off the air in a second, but you could actually take that meme and you can put it on TikTok and you could put a song behind it and you can just the same thing. The same exact thing.
Then go back to the music, promote the music at the same time.
Boom. Love it. All right, brother. We're going to wrap this up. Steve, thanks, man. Again, every Tuesday, we're here every single night live at around 6:30 p.m., depending on what I'm doing. Tomorrow night, we're going to have Ryan Dins back on the show. It's going to be the return episode of a podcast I like to call Don't Try This at Home. And last time I had Ryan Dins on the show, we talked a lot about dividend stocks and cryptocurrency. And I have a lot of stuff to talk about cryptocurrency and NFTs and kind of some different, like in the weeds topics about cryptocurrency and how maybe China is actually controlling that entire freaking game and why you should utilize that and leverage it to be ready for the future. So we'll talk about that tomorrow with Ryan Dins at around 6:30 p.m. I think I got to check the time, but we're out of here, Steve. I'll talk to you later, brother.
All right. Thank you, Jay.